Hung is standing at a major crossroads in his life. Will he choose the career he's dedicated his whole life to? Or will he give it up to become the husband and father his family hopes for? Each decision he makes not only affects his own future, but also changes the lives of his loved ones. Does Hoai Ca have enough faith to wait for him? Or will she have to accept a life without him by her side? In the meantime, Mrs. Bay, a wise and loving woman, offers an important piece of advice that could help Hung resolve all his doubts. Could this advice be the key to saving him, helping him find the right path for himself and his family? Mrs. Bay, an elderly woman who hadn't seen Hoai Ca in a long time, decided to pay her a visit today. As soon as she stepped into the house, her eyes sparkled, taking in the surroundings with a sense of affection and nostalgia. Hoai Ca greeted her with a warm smile, though there was a hint of shyness. She knew it had been a while since she last visited Mrs. Bay. She had been busy with things at home. Mrs. Bay looked at Hoai Ca and gently said, "It's been so long since I last saw you. I've missed you so much. How's everything at home? I noticed you haven't been over to visit me lately. You must be really busy, huh?" Hoai Ca replied with a soft sigh. "Yes, I've been really busy, Grandma. Since I moved back home, I've been planting some flowers in the garden, taking care of the vegetables, and cleaning the house. It's exhausting, but also fun, because I get to do it all." Mrs. Bay nodded, understanding Hoai Ca's busy life. Taking care of the garden and flowers must be hard work, but it's beautiful. I remember back in the day, I was just like that, so caught up in work that I forgot to take care of myself. The conversation continued in a warm, easygoing atmosphere. Mrs. Bay didn't forget to remind Hoai Ca about the things she had neglected due to her busy schedule. "Don't worry too much, dear. Life isn't just about work. There's also family and friends." Hoai Ca smiled, but inside, she couldn't help feeling a pang of regret for the time she had lost with her loved ones. The conversation between Mrs. Bay and Hoai Ca shifted toward the difficulties Hung was facing. Hoai Ca couldn't hide her worry as she spoke about the burdens that Hung was bearing. His debts were piling up, leaving him in a constant state of stress and unease. Hung keeps struggling with the debts, not knowing how to resolve them. He's borrowed from so many places, but the money still isn't enough to pay everyone off. I see him suffering, constantly anxious, and there's no way to ease his worries. Hoai Ca set her eyes heavy with concern. Mrs. Bay looked at her and sighed softly. "I understand, dear. Life sometimes feels like a whirlpool, one that you can't escape from. But remember, no matter how hard things get, you must hold on to a stable job. The job Hung has is a good one, and I don't want him to give it up just because of these current challenges." Hoai Ca nodded, but her heart still felt weighed down. She wanted to help Hung, but didn't know how. "I've told him that, but he's really torn. He's afraid that if he goes on a business trip far away, he won't be able to take care of the family of his mother and me." Mrs. Bay gently patted Hoai Ca's head, her eyes full of sympathy. "Don't worry, dear. No matter what, there will always be a solution. Trust in what you're doing, and never give up on something as important as a job. You and Hung must always be together, facing these challenges side by side. Hoai Ca fell silent, her heart torn between a strong desire to stay with Hung and the understanding that he needed to make decisions for the future of their family. After discussing Hung's struggles, the conversation shifted to another topic Mrs. Bay had mentioned earlier: harvesting medicinal herbs. Mrs. Bay had often spoken about the valuable plants in her garden that could help many people. She wanted to teach Hoai Ca how to harvest herbs, but her housework always took up most of her time. What do you think about learning to harvest herbs? Mrs. Bay asked, her eyes sparkling with hope. Doing this will not only benefit you, but also help others. It could bring in extra income too. You could do it on the side outside of your household work. Hoai Ca thought for a moment and then replied, "Yes, I've thought about it, Grandma. It's just that lately I've had to reorganize things at home, and it seems I've been so busy that I can't find time to go out and learn. But if you teach me, I'll do my best to learn." Mrs. Bay smiled. "As long as you want to learn, I'll teach you. For now, finish your housework, and then I'll wait for you and we can start." The conversation then shifted again when Mrs. Bay mentioned Ha, her son, who was struggling to find stable work. "I need to help Ha too. Do you know, he keeps jumping from one job to another, and it's getting nowhere. He worked as a house painter the other day, but it's not a stable job." Hoai Ca nodded, showing concern. "Yes, I know. Ha used to work as a house painter. Do you think he will stick with this job long term?" Mrs. Bay looked at Hoai Ca, her eyes tired. "If he's willing to do this work, it might be a bit easier for him. But it's still not stable. Do you know of any better job opportunities?" Hoai Ca suddenly remembered a friend who worked in construction, providing house painting services. "Yes, I have a friend who's looking for people in the field of construction painting. It's more stable, and it's not as hard as the heavy lifting jobs. I'll recommend it to Cha." Mrs. Bay's eyes lit up, clearly hopeful. "That sounds great, dear. Please help me introduce him to that job. He really needs something stable. He can't keep jumping from one job to another." Hoai Ca smiled, feeling a bit relieved. She decided to do her best to help Ha, not just for Mrs. Bay, but also for her own family. Hung also thanked Mrs. Bay and Hoai Ca for always being there to support him and advising him not to give up on his job. He knew that no matter how hard things got, perseverance would help him get through. After discussing the family matters and the challenges each person was facing, the atmosphere lightened even though everything was still quite complicated. Hung, despite his big concerns about work and debts, felt a little more at ease knowing that Hoai Ca and Mrs. Bay were by his side, encouraging him to find a way to solve everything. The conversation shifted to the future. Hung was still uncertain about his decision to transfer for work and worried about being away from his wife and son, while the family was still not stable. He shared, "I'm really worried about going away for work. I don't want to leave Hoai Ca and Tony. But if I stay home too long, I won't be able to solve everything. The house still isn't sorted, and if I go on this trip, I'm afraid I won't be able to make things right." Hoai Ca sat beside him, sensing his worry. She said to him, "Don't worry too much. Even if we're apart, You can still come back on weekends to visit me and Tony. We just have to look at things with an open mind. We need to have stable work first, then we'll figure the rest out. We have each other. We have our family. So everything will be okay. Mrs. Bay also spoke up to encourage Hung. You have to keep trying. Don't let these current difficulties make you lose hope for the future. This job is an opportunity many people dream of, so don't let it go. Even though you'll be away for a bit, a stable job will help you and your family be stronger. The three of them sat quietly for a moment, feeling the bond of their family. The love between Hoai Ca and Mrs. Bay had never been stronger, even though they were facing challenges. They knew that as long as they were together, everything would work out. The meal that day was simple, but the atmosphere in the house felt incredibly warm. After finishing her drink, Mrs. Bay smiled and said, "Well, today is a chance for us to be together again. Let's just have the meal. No need for any formalities. This meal is for the three of us, a way for us to reconnect." Hoai Ca stood up, smiled, and began to prepare the meal. She hoped that today would be a time for everyone to forget their worries, enjoy a nice meal, and savor the precious moments spent together. Mrs. Bay couldn't hide her joy at sitting down to eat with Hoai Ca and Hung. Even though it was just a simple meal, it was full of family love. I also hope everything will work out. Hoai Ca said, her eyes filled with hope. Hung, I believe you will get through all of this. We'll rebuild everything from the ground up together. Hung looked at his wife, his eyes full of appreciation. He could feel the strong support from Hoai Ca and Mrs. Bay. He no longer felt alone in his decisions. Thank you, my love. Thank you, Grandma. I will try my best. I won't let anything hold me back. The meal continued in a warm atmosphere, a reconnection of loving hearts within the family. Though the challenges were still there, they had faith that everything would be okay as long as they were together.